And good evening, everybody, and welcome here to race number 9 of Season 9 of the NNSCRA Oreo Truck Series. Seth Cole here in the broadcast studios booth, filling in for Anthony McCurry, who is currently out of the USA. So, for the next couple of weeks, I will be filling in for him, as he is currently on a bit of a vacation, visiting friends, and I believe he's in Madagascar. I'm not exactly certain. But I hope that you have a great time on vacation, Anthony, and look forward to having you back real soon. But I'll be filling in for him here as we're going to be covering here race 9, race 10, as well as possibly All-Star race weekend as well. Anthony McCurry will be back in the booth, though, when he does return back into the country's borders. But tonight we're getting ready for the 9th race of the season. Been a very interesting season so far, to be sure. And we've had a lot of different race winners, only one repeat winner this season, that of course being Sean Galligan. We are here at a new track as well. This is the first time that we'll be seeing NNSCRA racing at Lucas Oil Raceway. This is a very difficult short track where passing is super difficult, and a lot of these drivers who qualified up in the top 10 have the best chance of leaving with a decent finish. The guys at the back, they're going to have to fight tooth and nail to get themselves up here to the front, but who knows, 50 laps of racing, we could have pit strategy come into play as Kyle Matthews sits on the pole position. Kyle Matthews comes into this race currently in the 4th position in points. This is a great qualifying run for a guy who comes in top 5 in the points. Alongside of him is going to be our winner from Montreal, and that is of course Henry Sanford in the 24. We'll show you back through the starting lineup as McCurry does, and just letting you guys know as well, do not expect super professional, at least here for this race and possibly the Talladega race, because I do have to try and get used to these drivers and these trucks, because I've been more of a spectator of these races than a commentator, so just bear with me as I try and get used to this, these drivers in these particular rides. Starting off in 3rd here tonight is going to be James Qualls. Qualls comes in 37th in points, so a guy who really could use a win here tonight, and alongside of him is going to be Oreo Pollard in the 66, who comes in 7th in the current standings. Danny Wells lines up in the 5th position, 8th in the point standings, so he's looking for a good run. Alongside of him is going to be the 17 of Eric Burton, who comes into this race currently in the 28th position in points. I remember Eric Burton one season in trucks was a 3-time winner at one point. Ian Dutta, dead last in the points, is going to roll off from the 7th position. He really needs a good run. He's the only driver right now not to hit triple digits in the point standing so far this season, at 92 points so far in 8 races. And alongside of him is going to be Dylan Poteet in the 31. Dylan Poteet coming into this race in the 15th spot in points. And the rest of the top 10 are going to be Luke Martin. Luke Martin comes into this race 13th in the point stands, having a great rookie season. Alongside of him is going to be another rookie, that is Mitchell Riggs, who comes into this race in the, if I can find him, there he is, 19th in the current points. Here's the rest of the look of the rest of the field. Eric Powers going to line up alongside of the defending champion and winner last week, Eric and Rage. Trent Dunham will line up alongside of 41st in points, Seth Cole, another driver who's been having a struggling season. Bruins Littlejohn, another driver that's been having a rather struggling season. Right now, 21st in points, though, starts alongside of Bob Jones, 3rd in the standings. Then you got Austin LaPlante, former winner this season, alongside of Jackie Tang. Matthew Dallio, he'll line up alongside of the 2-time winner Sean Galligan. Jake Baskinger going to line up alongside of Nick Smith, 12th in the standings. Carson Gum, he'll line up on the inside of Brandon Nichols. John Arndt, former winner this season, as a matter of fact, one of 2 rookies that has gone to victory lane so far this season. He'll line up alongside of Levi McIntyre, 39th in points. Levi McIntyre really needs a good run here. Needs to get back on track. Same for James McLeod, 36th in the points. He'll line up alongside of Chris Washer. And you got Jacob Lawler, who is 5th in the point standings, former winner this season, alongside of the 88 of Zachary Chambers. Dylan Young, who is currently, where is he in the point standings? He is 2nd in the points. I knew he was doing well in the standings. He's 20 points back from the points leader, but he's starting way near the rear of the field here tonight. He'll line up alongside of rookie Blaine Keys, who was a former winner of the season, winning back, I believe, was at Las Vegas. I could be incorrect. Cold Alley is going to line up on the inside of rookie Brendan Berg. And then it'll be the points leader, Megan Atkins, starting way, way back here. I believe this is, if I'm not mistaken, the 33rd position. No, I'm sorry, 35th position that she's starting off from. That's going to be a tough task for the points leader to have to try and overcome, especially with the fact that a number of drivers, Bob Jones, Kyle Matthews, who are 3rd and 4th in points, are starting up closer to the front of the field. So we'll have to see how she does cut her way through traffic here tonight. Charles Jackson lines up to her outside. Then it's Mason Powers alongside of Jonathan Zorling, a couple of rookies there. None more rookies with Zach Rogers line up on the inside of Benjamin Miles. And then the final row is Jessica Shelton and rookie Zach Campbell. So, here we go. Let's go down trackside for those famous words.
Drivers, start your engine!
So as we've gotten the command to fire the engines, 50 laps of racing await us here at Lucas Oil Raceway. Could be interesting to see. This is going to be a first for me. Never seen these trucks, never seen any cars in NNSCRA competition race at this particular track. From what I've been able to gather, it looks somewhat similar to kind of like South Boston in a way. A little bit maybe more room, a little bit bigger as well. But we'll see what these trucks are able to do for some good old short track racing. We ran Bristol in the Snickers Cup Series, and those were some exciting races, so we'll see what happens here. Kyle Matthews trying to pick up his first win. Remember, with the way that McCrory has it here with this truck series, there is no chase. So Kyle Matthews really needs to pick up wins and everything to try and, by points-wise, get up to the points lead by the end of the season. So we'll see what happens here. Green flag's out. We're underway here at Lucas Oil Raceway. Kyle Matthews got a good start there, but so too did Henry Sanford. He's hanging tough there on the outside line as they remain side by side, at least for now, down the back straightaway. James Qualls trying to go underneath of Oreo Pollard. It looked like Dylan Pote thought about going 3 wide back there with, I couldn't tell which car that was. I apologize. I think it might have been Eric Burton in the 17. Henry Sanford gets a nice run there on the high side, and he's going to clear Kyle Matthews for the lead. So Henry Sanford showing some muscle early on here as he's looking for his second win of the season. And now Kyle Matthews falls back into the clutches of Oreo Pollard, and the caution flag's out. Caution's waving. Yellow lights are on, and they are going to now have to back it down to pace speed behind the Lucas Oil Raceway pace truck. So the yellow flag out, and oh, looks like it involved Jacob Lawler. That's 5th in the point standings. Blaine Keys, another former winner this season, he's in it. Brendan Berg may be involved. There's a little bit of damage on the left side of Dylan Young. Maybe some damage on Benjamin Miles on his left side. For the most part, though, it looks like everybody else is okay. So a short track, small wreck apparently. And it happens with Henry Sanford out in front, who was able to get around Kyle Matthews for the lead on the high side. So he'll lead us here under caution. Let's take a look at a replay. We'll put us under the yellow for the first time here tonight. This was somewhere just around the top 30, I think. It was really congested here as well. And there's going to be some contact right there between the 88 and James McLeod's 30. And he goes down off the nose of Jacob Lawler, and then Lawler, something, I don't know, he didn't keep the car straight, the truck straight. Comes up into Blaine Keys, and Dylan Young is going to get a little piece of it here. Now look what happened right in front of the 6th, the points leader, Megan Atkins. There you see Dylan Young, he's just trying to fight through past the 82. He gets squeezed up into the wall. Brendan Berg gets a piece of it there. Charles Jackson and Jonathan Zorling trying to woe up in order to avoid. Benjamin Miles doing the same. So there you go. That's what ended up putting us under the caution. I don't know how bad damage the 30 car got. Let's see if he got into the wall or not. I'm not really sure he even hit the wall. Let's take a look from this camera angle. See him go off the nose of Lawler. He may end up getting a bit of it with the rear of his truck, but I don't think it's going to be anything fatal. Right there, yeah, just a little with the left rear. And then he's able to yank that truck to the right in order to avoid it continuing to spin. And there you see the flagman going to throw the caution flag. I'm not really sure if the caution even came out for James McLeod's spin. It might have happened for that incident up there with Lawler and Dylan Young and Brendan Berg and Blaine Keys, quite honestly. But that's what put us under the yellow flag anyway. Looks like James McLeod is going to be able to continue. I'd be surprised if any of these guys aren't able to continue, as it doesn't really look like anybody got really involved fatally as far as their trucks. So let's head back now for the restart. Lights are out top the pace truck as we'll go back green. We'll bring up your ticker here. As you can see, nobody out of the race. And your top 10 is going to be Henry Sanford, Kyle Matthews, Oreo Pollard, James Qualls, Eric Burton, Dylan Poteet, Danny Wells, Ian Dutta. And then I believe it's the 07. I've just got to make sure here. Yep, Mitchell Riggs and Eric and Rage. Like I said, still trying to remember these drivers with their respective rides and everything. So I do apologize ahead of time. Hopefully, I'll have it all figured out by the time we get to Talladega. So Henry Sanford was able to get around Kyle Matthews on the high side. Not necessarily sure if that's the fast way around the racetrack or not, because I'm not really sure there is exactly a fast way around a short track, but he was able to do it, and now with a single file restart, he'll be able to at least try and block any kind of line that Kyle Matthews may use against him. Green flag, back out. See what Kyle Matthews do. Well, Kyle Matthews is not going to really be able to try and concentrate on Henry Sanford, because here comes Oreo Pollard and James Qualls looking to the inside for what would be the second and third position. But it looks like Kyle Matthews actually gets a bit of a run there on the high side, and he's going to keep the second position. So I guess that just proved case in point that the outside line is somehow the fastest way around this track. You're able to get back into the throttle earlier and get a nice run off the corners. Henry Sanford, though, who ended up winning in a last lap pass at Montreal, picking up the victory. Trying to pick up his second win of the season. Right now he is currently situated in the 31st place in points. So regardless of his success at Montreal, it hasn't exactly overall been a very good season for this 2014. That could change tonight with a second trip to Victory Lane, which would join him in the ranks of Sean Galligan so far as a repeat winner this season. He enjoys about maybe a 4-car length lead over Kyle Matthews at the current moment. Let's jump back, find out where the points leader, Megan Atkins, is currently situated. Right now in the 30th position, working that high side as she's trying to get around Cole Daly. And she will clear him for that spot. So she's now in the 29th spot. Now she'll dive low on the 88 of Zachary Chambers. Trying to work her way back up to the front here after starting near the rear of the field. Another driver who started near the rear. And we saw him actually get involved in that wreck. Second in points, Dylan Young. He's currently in the 38th position. Appears to be up to speed, but not making much progress. And Bob Jones had a pretty good qualifying result here tonight. And there he is right now, currently just riding around in the 15th position. He just ran his fastest lap of the race as well. 22.322. Trent Dunham up here in the 13th position. 17th in the standings. This is a good run for him. Could help move him up into the top 10. And another driver who's having a good run that really can use it is right there, Dylan Poteet, right now 6th. And he's 15th in the points. This will maybe help move him into the top 10 in points. Back up front, it is all Henry Sanford at the moment. As a matter of fact, that 3-car length lead that he had has grown. He's now got about 0.6 of a second lead over Kyle Matthews. Matthews has not been able to reel him in at all, but still quite a long ways to go. 15 laps down, about 35 to go when they hit the stripe. Coming off his win last week, Eric and Rage is currently in the top 10, right now in the 10th position. Defending Oreo Truck Series champions win moved him up to 9th in the point standings coming into tonight's race, and now looking for another decent finish, right now in that 10th position. Eric and Rage surprised a lot of people last year, taking the championship as a rookie. And right now he is looking like he's still in championship form, as he has to now adjust to the new format, the old original NASCAR format, enforced by Anthony McCurry here in Season 9. Back up here to the front. Still Henry Sanford enjoying his lead. Let's see if we can find a battle on track. This could be something shaping up soon between a couple of teammates. Dylan Poteet has the 6th position. Danny Wells wants it. As I said, Dylan trying to work his way into the top 10 in points. Danny Wells already is there. He's 8th in the standings coming into tonight's race. As a matter of fact, this is the first season I can remember that Ford truck since that particular Ford has been in my series actually having a good season. I remember back, I think it was in Season 7, it was James Silverfox who piloted that ride. He finished way down in points. And then last season it was Joe Davis, I believe. Joe Davis, Jordan Davis, something like that. And he had a very terrible season. This is the first time I've actually seen that Ford truck actually have success in the Oreo Truck Series. Ooh. Dylan Poteet getting a bit of a run there on James Qualls. Thought about sticking his nose underneath for the 5th position. Qualls able to hang on, at least now, to that position. As I said at the top of the program, James Qualls currently sitting in the midpoint of the point standings. Actually, even worse than that, 37th. He's actually one of the few drivers that really is up here at the front and could benefit from a good run here. A lot of other drivers are drivers that are running consistently just inside the top 10 or outside of the top 10. Qualls and Henry Sanford, I think, would be the two that would benefit the most. And look at that line that Qualls ran right there. Oh, he got the wall! Ran it a little too high to James Qualls. Got the wall, and now he's about to lose a spot to Dylan Poteet. Let's see if he can battle back on the high side here. We've seen it done before with both Sanford and Kyle Matthews. And it looks like he's going to be able to, at least for now. Well, he's running awfully high again. And he gets the wall again. So Qualls running a slightly different line, and it's costing him right now. He just now lost that 5th position. That could also be tires going away. Not any more grip for these drivers to be able to try and run that high line. So we might be getting close here to pit stops for these drivers, as Kyle Matthews doing his best to try and chip away at that lead that Henry Sanford has right now, status quo at about half a second. Let's jump back. Last time we checked in on the points leader, Megan Atkins, she was up inside the top 30 and still right now running in that 29th position. You gotta wonder if any of these drivers are thinking about using any kind of strategy on pit road. I don't know how you can really do that, though. We've been in a green flag run here for quite a while. Seems like you'd have to take 4 tires and fuel in order to set yourself up in case this thing goes green flag all the way to the end. But the question is whether these guys are going to have to pit. I mean, can they make it to like lap 40 and then decide, okay, let's try a 2-tire strategy or something? I don't know. Meanwhile, Kyle Matthews starting to get reeled in by Oreo Pollard. Oreo Pollard 7th in the point standings. Been having a great rookie season so far, but still looking for that first win. And he's starting to reel in Kyle Matthews' Chevrolet Silverado with Toyota, trying to chase down the Chevrolet. And there's another Toyota, actually, that's about to try and catch up to these two as well, and that's Eric Burton in the 17. Eric Burton 28th in the point standings. And oh boy, this battle is heating up for sure. Oreo Pollard has found a little bit of grip, about a half groove lower than what Kyle Matthews is running, and it helps him get a bit of a run on him, especially in the middle of the corner. But Kyle Matthews running that slightly higher line is able to get back to the throttle a little bit earlier, and it's able to keep Oreo Pollard at bay, at least for now. Henry Sanford seems to be running a slightly higher line now. That could be the result of tire fall-off. And I'd love to know just exactly how much fuel these guys have left, because when we hit the stripe, it's 20 laps to go here at Lucas Oil. Can they make it that full 20 laps on fuel? I doubt it, but you never know. And if that's the case, if they can make it all the way on fuel, then do you risk the chance that your tires could be worn and everything and just, rely on the fuel to get you to the end? Or do you have to come to pit road and get those tires in order to set yourself up, especially if you're second, third, fourth, fifth on the racetrack, to be able to have enough grip to make a move on Henry Sanford in the closing stages of this race? Because quite honestly, if you and the leader are both on worn tires, the fact of the matter is neither one of you is going to be able to really make an evasive move that's going to maybe be able to pick you up this victory. Right now, though, Henry Sanford has just been dominating. There's no other word for it. He's been dominating ever since he got around Kyle Matthews and ever since he was able to pull away when we had our only caution and only restart. So right now, I don't really see anything upsetting the strategy of that 24 truck unless something dramatic happens, which it's happened before.
That should do it, Grandma. She just needed a bit of stop leak.
Yep, everyone likes a Sunday morning drive, especially when you can try something different. Lucas Power Steering Stop Leak guarantees your power steering will perform the way you need it to. And we mean perform. It's uniquely blended to stop leaks, noises, and hard spots with as little as 1 bottle. Even rack and pinion problems.
Like a cowboy!
So have some fun and drive your car the way it was meant to be driven with our guaranteed Lucas Power Steering Stop Leak. With Lucas, every drive will feel, blessed. Lucas Power Steering Stop Leak.
Tacky.
You're a little late, Doreen.
Got a little sidetracked.
It's granny approved for cars and trucks.
Tonight's race from Lucas Oil Raceway is brought to you, of course, by Lucas Motor Oil. And by Goodyear, the official tire of NNSCRA. Goodyear, get there. Henry Sanford is certainly getting there as he still continues to lead this race. And speaking of Goodyear, let's find out in the radio communications of that 24 just how good those Goodyears are going to be to maybe get them to the end. Let's listen in.
Alright, bud, you're going to be about 5 laps short on fuel. 5 laps short. I don't know when you want to come in. I don't know what the other guys are going to be doing, so just let me know when you're going to come down.
Yeah, the tires are holding up good. I think we might just try gas and go. What do you think?
I think we'll just have to see what the leaders do. I don't want them getting fresh rubber on us here and shoot out to the end.
And 4. So it's sounding like fuel is going to be the problem for these guys. More Sunoco problems than Goodyear problems, but right now, your top 10 as it stands here with about 12 laps to go when they hit the stripe. It's Henry Sanford, Kyle Matthews, Oreo Pollard, Eric Burton, Dylan Poteet, then James Qualls, Danny Wells, Ian Dutta, then Mitchell Riggs, and Eric Enrage. That's been the top 10 for a good portion of this race. And look at Kyle Matthews now. Apparently he feels it's time to get up the back bumper of that 24. Now, if you're Kyle Matthews, do you try using up your stuff trying to pass here before these drivers are going to have to probably make pit stops? Because I'm assuming if the 24 is about 5 laps short, that means that everybody is going to be short on fuel. So do you use up that Goodyear rubber trying to run down the 24 or not? Now, it'll be interesting to see, too, if these drivers do go for the Goodyear rubber here at the end, as you heard in the radio communications. You know, there could be someone that could roll the dice and try and, maybe take tires here, as it looks like we got pit stops going on. There was one driver already on the pit lane that I couldn't tell who it was, but Seth Coles hit pit road. There's Eric Enrage, who's been running the top 10. Trent Dunham. Bob Jones, third in points, is there. Trent's going to pull into his pit stall just ahead of Seth Cole. Danny Wells is in. Just leaving pit road is James McLeod. And I believe the leader may have just come in. Or was that Oreo Pollard just came out? No, Oreo Pollard is still out there, so the leader has come in, and now here comes Kyle Matthews. So, can't get to Henry Sanford here. Here we go. He's in. Let's see if they go with tires here. They're going at least for right sides on his Core 24 Chevrolet. They're just going to be right side tires, and then that's it. Yep, right sides, and he's gone. So they did go for some of the Goodyear rubber, but they didn't exactly go for 4 tires. Eric and Rage had a very slow pit stop. He's just now coming out. So now we got to find the 92 of Kyle Matthews. There he is, getting the benefit of that first pit stall with getting the pole. Looks like they're going to go with right sides, and now he's down and away. Oreo Pollard coming out right behind him. There's Blaine Keys. Oh, Oreo Pollard going to drag race Kyle Matthews off pit road. A little bit of door bumping there as Kyle Matthews says, no, 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 no. I beat you out of pit road. You're not going to pass me. So now we're looking for the 24. Where is he at? Henry Sanford's back, and I think that's like the 4th position. I think Kyle Matthews may have beaten them off pit road. He is the current leader. Carson Gum right behind him. He is a lap machine right now in the 35th position. And indeed, according to our scoring monitor, it is Kyle Matthews the leader here. When they hit the stripe, 6 to go. Oreo Pollard's in 2nd, 8/10 back. Eric Burton runs 3rd. 4th now Henry Sanford, who has dominated this race. Danny Wells 5th. And then you got Dylan Poteen 6th. Austin LaPlante has now moved his way up to 7th. Jake Baskinger now up to 8th. Seth Cole 9th. And Ian Dutta now completes top 10 after this cycle of pit stops. And this isn't exactly wise strategy on the part of Kyle Matthews. He's racing pretty hard with Carson Gum, who's trying to get back on the tail end of the lead lap. And that's bringing Oreo Pollard right up to his back door. Oreo Pollard enjoying the luxury of a lap machine between himself and 3rd place Eric Burton. That, of course, the 50 of Blaine Keys. And Oreo Pollard is closing the gap up on Kyle Matthews, but I don't know what happened on that 24 team's pit stop. It could have been the fact that they didn't have that number 1 pit stall like Kyle Matthews did. I don't know what the factor is, but whatever the case, they did not get off pit road first after they've been absolutely dominating this race. Kyle Matthews' team right on the money, and as a result, he is out in front and en route to maybe winning this race. Comes in 4th in the point stands, a total of, I think it was 35 points, out of the top position. This is going to be a huge points day for him if he can pick up the victory, and of course it'll lock him into this season's All-Star race as well, which, by the way, yes, it has been confirmed. There will be an Oreo Truck Series All-Star race. Oreo Pollard, he's going to do something. He's got to do it quick, because next time by, it is 2 laps to go. We've had only 1 caution flag today. Since then, it's been all green flag. These drivers were not able to make it on fuel. They came down pit road. The cycle of pit stops puts Kyle Matthews out in front, and he's about a lap and a half away from his first win of the season. At 66, though, right there in his rearview mirror, waiting for a moment to pounce. If you're Oreo Pollard, where are you going to make the move, though? Because Kyle Matthews is kind of blocking that high line, which we've seen a number of drivers be able to get the run off of. White flag in the air, 1 to go. Oreo Pollard going to drive it down hard into turn 1. Try and get to the left rear quarter panel of the 92. Can't do it this time. Has to back off and regroup. Let's see if he can make a move here in 3. Kyle Matthews going to be mirror driving through these 2 corners, I guarantee you. As Oreo Pollard going to run the same line, he won't be able to make a charge. Kyle Matthews, with the pit stop, is going to pick up his first win of the season and wins here tonight at the short track of Lucas Oil Raceway. Well, Henry Sanford, as a driver, did his job tonight. Dominated this race. It was his pit crew that dropped the ball here late in this race. Kyle Matthews, he did his job as a driver, remained in 2nd for a good portion of this race after qualifying on the pole, and then his pit crew finished the job on a high note with a solid pit stop, getting him out ahead of everybody and allowing him to pick up the win here tonight. So put him in a good spot for the point standings as well, as he came in 4th in the points. And well, for some reason, the lights are on in the caution truck. Doesn't really matter. Race is over. So let's take a look and see where the drivers that came in top 10 in the points, where they all finished. 4th in points, Kyle Matthews wins tonight's race. Oreo Pollard, 7th in the points. He'll get 2nd. Danny Wells, who is 8th in points. He'll finish the day out in the 5th position. Looking further down, Bob Jones. Nice comeback finish for that 10 truck. 3rd in points. Will finish the day out in the 11th position. As we look further down, Sean Galligan, 6th in points. He's going to finish 14th. Continuing to look down the points here, see if I can find anybody else that's inside the top 10 in the standings. Not yet. Haven't seen the points leader, Megan Atkins, yet. As continue to look down, there's Megan Atkins, 26th. The points leader will finish. So, I don't know, based on where Bob Jones finished. I mean, that's 12 points. No, he's not going to quite close up the gap. He came in 21 points back, so he'll be about 9 points by Megan Atkins after tonight's race. As we continue to look further down the point standings here, this is where it starts to get a little bit iffy. I think some of these drivers may have had trouble on pit road. A number of drivers, Eric and Rage, James Qualls, are inside the top 10. They finish in 36th and 39th, so they must have had trouble on pit road. But Eric and Rage came in 9th in the point standings. He'll finish 1 lap down in 36th. Dylan Young, 2nd in the points. We saw the trouble he had on that first caution. He'll finish in 40th. And Blaine Keys and Jacob Lawler, 41st and 42nd. Lawler came in 5th in points. Blaine Keys, 10th in points. So, we could very well see drivers move themselves up into the top 10 in points after a number of drivers finish way down in the finishing results of tonight's race. But Kyle Matthews, the man of the hour, as he'll pick up his first win of the season here tonight at Lucas Oil Raceway. Next week, we pack it up and head to a big track, the restrictor plate track of Talladega Super Speedway. Hope you guys will tune in for that. Thanks very much for watching. I'm Seth Cole signing off. Here comes your official finishing results from tonight's race, as well as your rookie points and main points heading into round number 10. You've been watching a production of the NNSCRA, offline racing at its best.